Alright, Chroma Gun. Interestingly enough, I checked my business email, and I've got a key for this from the producer or one of the guys who works at Chroma Gun. They want me to check it out. I feel like a real reviewer. I feel like I'm finally getting the respect I so richly deserve. In the sea of emails from Russian mail-order brides that, honest to God, sometimes I consider really looking into, there was actually someone who took me serious. Chroma Gun is the second indie game I've had the pleasure of reviewing. I find that indie titles have more heart and soul put into them versus AAA games, where it seems almost as if they're more focused on the bottom line or getting out their earnings for the physical quarter versus creating either a masterpiece or simply something that's fun to play. I entered this game with no expectations, really. The graphics were kind of run-of-the-mill, mediocre, so on and so forth, which would lead one to believe that there's something subpar here. But, as they say, don't judge a book by its cover. I found Chroma Gun to immediately grow on me. Everything from the announcer's interesting and funny voice that pointed out your failures on many occasions and even laughed at your expense.
You have successfully understood the correlation between triggers and worker droids. That makes you more intelligent than 39% of test subjects and 97% of test monkeys.
To the fact that there are achievements for sucking at the game. There's something funny about seeing something pop up and tell you, you've won the achievement for being totally ineffective. What was that? I just threw like... And I jizzed in my pants. Alright, can I do this? It's unaffected by... Ineffective, alright. And it's like, wow. If only my manager at Target could see me now. Chroma Gun just has a weird fun factor. Before you know it, the time just melts away as you sit there and use your color gun to figure out these puzzles that get incrementally harder at each turn. If I had anything to really say I disliked about the game, it's probably the fact that there was always a loading screen in between each level. That bothered me a little. But what can you do? It's not exactly like it's long at all. Also, if you're like me and you are sucky at mixing colors, you will be killed by drones on a regular basis. These drones will hunt you down and snuff out your miserable little color life. Tell me what color.
Paint the wall red, so it'll attract it.
Take red, please.
That's brown.
Take red, please.
Fuck it up. Paint any wall red. With that one. Any.
No! Help.
Stop painting that one.
Yeah? Like a piss it off. Fuck you, fuck you.
Turn it brown. Try to turn it brown.
Can't turn anything but...
The pissed off red.
Guess it's time to die. Oh, I died retardedly.
In light of your recent blunders, and they are many, we feel we are obliged to inform you that Kung Fu has been proven to be futile against worker droids.
And there's also no going back. Too bad the gun doesn't have a bleach feature, which would be kind of sweet. If you just had a bleach button or something you could throw on the wall when you made everything brown and then start over with your color mixing. Because if you're like me in kindergarten, you spent more time being beaten up than figuring out red and blue made green or whatever the fuck. Red and blue makes purple. See how stupid I am? This is the American public system for you kids. This game has a lot to offer, even people who might not be into puzzlers. It's very reminiscent of Portal, surprisingly, which isn't exactly a bad thing. I hear Portal's pretty big, and from what I could tell of the trailers, this feels very Portal-ish, so that's not bad like I just said. In fact, to even test out my theory that this game was completely and utterly approachable, I had someone that was a casual gamer at best take a crack at Chroma Gun. And she sat and played Chroma Gun for hours, and I passed out on the floor while she screamed and shouted, trying to she took the game way too seriously. She took Chroma Gun as seriously as I take Overwatch's competitive matches. She told me I needed to be silent as she focused on her strategy to win. Honestly, if you're looking for something that's pretty laid back, fun, surprisingly funny, interesting, easily accessible, and the type of game you could share with a lot of people who probably aren't into PC gaming or shooters or anything like that, it's like something almost anyone could get into, then I'd say Chroma Gun might be something you want to check out. Also, buying it supports indie developers, which frankly, indie developers are kind of knocking out of the park. I mean, you got Chroma Gun, you've got Ultimate Chicken Horse, and right now, We Happy Few is on my radar. No Man's Sky, come on, there's so much to go by. There's so much just coming out of the indie developers, picking up the slack where the AAA developers seem to have totally dropped off because they're too busy putting out annual releases of the same game engine with poorly ported PC versions and bugs galore. Chroma Gun is a refreshing, mellow change to an often very infuriating hobby known as PC gaming. Well, that's going to do it for me. I hurt my tiny little triceps trying to lift weights, and now I'm paying the price. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. Thank you as always for tuning into my channel. Don't laugh at me. And I forgot all the other stuff I was supposed to say, so I'm going to leave now with my fat. Who cares about my Twitch and Twitter? No one.